No one cares work harder. The journey is often more valuable than the destination itself. Too many people live their entire lives chasing the end goal, only to find that when they finally reach it, they feel empty, unfulfilled, and unsure of what comes next. Why? Because the destination was never the true reward. The real treasure is who you become along the way. You learn discipline when you wake up early to train, when no one else is watching, when you push yourself even though your bed feels warmer and the world feels quieter. Discipline becomes a muscle, forged in those small moments where no applause is given, but progress is made. You learn resilience when you face rejection and keep moving forward, even when doors close in your face, even when the world tells you no. Every setback builds a strength that no victory ever could. It teaches you that your worth is not determined by external approval, but by your internal decision to keep going. You learn creativity when life throws obstacles in your path and you're forced to find new solutions to old problems. Creativity is not just about art or music. It's about survival, innovation, and the ability to see possibilities where others only see barriers. These lessons stay with you long after the applause has faded, long after the goal has been reached. They become part of your character, part of your foundation. They prepare you for the next challenge, the next journey, the next dream. So don't rush the process. Don't focus so much on the destination that you miss the lessons along the way, because every moment matters. Every failure has something to teach you. Every obstacle is shaping you into the person capable of carrying the weight of your dream. The truth is simple. If you reached your goal instantly, without struggle, without setbacks, without growth, you wouldn't be able to hold it. You wouldn't be ready. The struggle is what makes you strong enough to handle success when it finally arrives. If this message is already resonating with you, take a second to like this video and subscribe to The Shifted Self. This is just the beginning of the journey we're about to walk together. Failure is not the end. Failure is not proof that you are weak, unworthy, or incapable. Failure is a teacher, one of the greatest teachers you will ever have. Yet most people run from it, fear it, and avoid it at all costs. But here's the truth. Every failure carries within it a hidden lesson, a seed of wisdom, a tool that will prepare you for the challenges ahead. Think about rejection. When you pour your heart into something, when you give it your best and someone turns you away, it hurts. It feels like a door slamming in your face. But rejection, when faced with courage, is not the end of your path. It's a redirection. It's life telling you, not this way, try another. And in that moment, you learn persistence. You learn to keep moving forward even when the world says no. Think about mistakes. You've made them and you will make more. Everyone does. And when you stumble, when you fall, when you realize you could have done things differently, that moment carries the gift of humility. Mistakes strip away the illusion of perfection. They remind you that you're human, that growth comes not from pretending to be flawless, but from acknowledging your flaws and improving because of them. Think about obstacles, the mountain that seems too high, the storm that feels too strong, the challenge that looks impossible. And yet, when you face it, when you push through, when you refuse to quit, that obstacle becomes a source of strength. What once felt like an enemy becomes your greatest ally. The very things you thought would break you become the things that build you. Every failure, every rejection, every obstacle carries within it a lesson. And when you collect those lessons, when you embrace them instead of running from them, you begin to understand something powerful. You are not defined by the moments you fall. You are defined by how you rise. Failure is inevitable, but regret is optional. You will fail many times, but those failures will shape you, sharpen you, and prepare you. Regret comes only when you refuse to learn, when you let fear and excuses paralyze you. So the next time you fail, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What is this trying to teach me?" Because the answer to that question is the key to unlocking your next level of growth. Some of the greatest stories ever told are not about people who had it easy. They are not about characters who walked a straight, simple path without obstacles. The stories that inspire us, the ones that live in our minds long after we've heard them, are stories of transformation. Stories where ordinary people are forced to confront extraordinary challenges, and in the process they discover strength, courage, and resilience they never knew they had. Think about the heroes in your favorite movies or books. They didn't become heroes because life gave them comfort. They became heroes because life tested them. They faced rejection, defeat, pain, and loss, They faced the darkness within themselves, and every time they had a choice, to give up and remain who they were or to push forward and become someone new. Frodo didn't choose the ring because it was easy. He carried it because the journey demanded sacrifice, and along the way, he discovered his own strength. Harry Potter didn't grow in safety. He grew in the face of danger, betrayal, and impossible odds. Every legend, every hero, every inspiring figure, real or fictional, was shaped not by avoiding difficulty, but by facing it head-on. And so will you. Your life is a story in the making. Right now you are in the middle of a chapter that may feel heavy, painful, or uncertain. But this chapter is not the end. It is the setup for your transformation. Every challenge you face is an invitation to grow into the next version of yourself. Transformation doesn't come from comfort. Comfort may feel safe, but it keeps you the same. Growth, change, evolution. Those are born in the fire of adversity. That's why your struggles matter. They are not punishments. They are not signs that you're failing. They are the very conditions necessary for you to evolve. Someday, you'll look back at this exact moment in your life and see it differently. You'll realize that the pain you endured, the obstacles you faced, the failures you thought would break you, they were the very things that made you who you are. They were the turning points, the milestones, the defining battles of your story. The truth is, your story is already powerful. But what will make it unforgettable is how you respond to your challenges. Will you collapse under their weight, or will you rise and become the hero of your own journey? Remember this: the people you admire most, the heroes you respect, the stories that inspire you, they are mirrors of your own potential. You carry that same capacity for transformation within you. The only question is, will you face your challenges head-on, or will you run from them? Discipline is freedom. Most people hear that phrase and don't understand it, because they confuse freedom with doing whatever they want, whenever they want. But true freedom comes from consistency, from structure, from having the power to control yourself instead of being controlled by your impulses. Think about it. If you do whatever you want, whenever you feel like it, where does that lead you? You eat junk food when you crave it and your health suffers. You skip the gym because you don't feel motivated and your body weakens. You avoid challenges because they feel uncomfortable and your growth stops. That's not freedom. That's slavery to laziness, to fear, to weakness. Discipline is what frees you from that prison. When you wake up at the same time every morning, even when your body begs you to sleep in, you are telling yourself, I am in control. When you show up to work, to train, to practice, even when you don't feel like it, you are proving that your emotions don't dictate your actions. That's freedom. Consistency is where the power of discipline reveals itself. Doing something once is easy. Doing it for a week is impressive. But doing it every day for months, for years without giving up, that's where transformation happens. That's where the average person stops and the disciplined individual keeps going. Greatness is not built in a single moment of inspiration. It's built in the hundreds of quiet, unseen moments where you do the hard thing again and again. It's built when you train without applause, when you study without recognition, when you sacrifice without reward. And over time, all those small acts of discipline stack up. They create momentum, and that momentum becomes unstoppable. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your discipline. That's why two people can have the same dream, the same ambition, but one of them achieves it and the other never does. The difference isn't talent. The difference is consistency. So ask yourself, are you willing to commit day after day when it's no longer exciting, when no one is cheering for you, when it feels routine, even boring? That's the test. Anyone can start, but very few finish. Discipline doesn't make life easier. It makes you stronger. And strength makes life easier to handle. If you can master yourself, if you can master your habits, there's nothing in this world that can truly break you. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Yet most people fear it, avoid it, and run from it as if it is the end of the road. But the truth is, failure is the beginning of growth. Every failure is a teacher, every setback a lesson, every fall an invitation to rise stronger than before. Resilience is the ability to stand back up when the world knocks you down. It's not about pretending the fall didn't hurt or acting like pain doesn't exist. It's about feeling that pain and choosing to keep going anyway. That's resilience, not denial, but strength. Think about it. The people you admire most, the stories that inspire you, the heroes of history and everyday life. They all share one thing. They failed, often more times than they succeeded. The difference is they refused to quit. Thomas Edison famously said he didn't fail 10,000 times. He simply found 10,000 ways that didn't work. That's resilience. Resilience is built through struggle. When you fall, when you are rejected, when you lose, you have two choices: to give up or to rise. And every time you rise, you become stronger. You train your mind to understand that failure is not fatal. It's feedback. It's data. It's the universe telling you to try again, but differently. The danger is not in failing. It's in giving failure the final word. Too many dreams die because people mistake one fall for the end of the journey. But resilience says, this is not where it ends. This is where I begin again. And make no mistake, resilience is rare. It's much easier to walk away, to say, I guess it wasn't meant to be, than it is to stand back up with scraped knees and a bruised heart. But the ones who refuse to quit are the ones who change their lives. So when failure finds you, and it will, remember this: it is not there to destroy you. It is there to strengthen you. It is the fire that forges the steel of your character, and the more times you rise, the more unbreakable you become. Because at the end of the day, the truly unstoppable are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who never stay down. Growth never comes from comfort. Comfort is safe, it's predictable, it feels good, but it keeps you exactly where you are. Discomfort, on the other hand, is the birthplace of transformation. It's where the muscles tear so they can rebuild stronger, where the mind stretches so it can think bigger, where the soul learns that it can endure more than it ever imagined. The reason most people never reach their true potential is simple. They spend their lives avoiding discomfort. They choose what feels easy, what feels familiar, what feels safe. But safety rarely leads to greatness. If you want to evolve, you must be willing to step into the unknown, to embrace the awkward, the painful, the uncertain. Think about every meaningful achievement in your life. Learning to walk. It was uncomfortable, you stumbled, you fell, you cried. But you got back up, and eventually walking became second nature. The same is true for learning, for love, for leadership. Every leap forward was born out of moments where you didn't know if you could make it. But you tried anyway. Discomfort is not the enemy, it's the sign that you are growing. When you feel the burn in your muscles, it means they're getting stronger. When you feel fear before taking a risk, it means you're stretching your courage. When you feel doubt before stepping onto a bigger stage, it means you're entering new territory. Avoiding discomfort is avoiding growth, and avoiding growth is avoiding life itself. Because life is not meant to be stagnant. It's meant to be lived, to be stretched, to be challenged. So the next time you feel uncomfortable, don't run from it. Sit with it, embrace it, recognize it for what it is. Proof that you are moving forward. The greatest rewards are always just beyond the edge of your comfort zone. And every time you step outside of it, you expand what's possible for you. That's how you grow. That's how you become unbreakable. Belief is the foundation of everything. Before you can achieve anything in the world, you must first believe it's possible. Every invention, every breakthrough, every great achievement in human history began in the same place, with a mind that dared to believe. The most dangerous thing you can lose in life is not money, not status, not opportunity. It's belief in yourself. Because once that is gone, everything else collapses. Without belief, you won't try. Without belief, you won't endure. Without belief, you'll talk yourself out of the very actions that could change your life. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's trust. It's the quiet confidence that whispers, I can do this. It doesn't mean you know every step of the journey. It doesn't mean you won't stumble or fall. It means you trust that no matter what happens, you will rise again. Think about it. Every person you admire, every hero you look up to, every leader who has changed the course of history, they all had moments of doubt. They all had moments where the world told them they were crazy, unqualified, or destined to fail. The only reason they succeeded is because they chose to believe in themselves even when no one else did. Belief is fuel. It turns obstacles into challenges and challenges into opportunities. It transforms the impossible into the achievable. With belief, rejection becomes redirection. With belief, failure becomes feedback. With belief, you stop seeing walls as barriers and start seeing them as stepping stones. But belief must be cultivated. You strengthen it by keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you say you'll wake up early and you do, it builds belief. Every time you push through when you want to quit, it builds belief. Every time you take one more step forward, no matter how small, you are proving to yourself that you can be trusted. And that is the essence of power. Self-trust. When you know you can count on yourself, you become unstoppable. So protect your belief. Guard it like your most precious treasure. Because it is. With belief, you can conquer mountains. Without it, even the smallest hill will defeat you. Motivation is fleeting. It's a spark, a rush of energy, a burst of excitement that can get you started, but it never lasts. Some mornings, you'll wake up full of fire, ready to conquer the world. But on most days, that fire won't be there. And if you're relying only on motivation, you'll quit before you even begin. That's why discipline is greater than motivation. Discipline is the engine that keeps you moving when the spark has faded. It's the force that pushes you out of bed when you're tired, that carries you through the workout when your body screams for rest, that keeps you focused when distractions whisper in your ear. Motivation is an emotion. Discipline is a decision. Motivation depends on how you feel. Discipline depends on who you are. And when your identity becomes rooted in discipline, you no longer ask yourself if you feel like doing the work. You simply do it. Every champion you've ever admired didn't rely on motivation. They built systems, habits, and rituals that carried them through the days when they didn't feel inspired. Champions are not made in the moments of excitement. They're made in the quiet hours when no one is watching. When showing up feels the hardest, when the easy choice is to quit, but they keep going anyway. Discipline is freedom. It might sound like a paradox, but it's true. Because when you are disciplined, you are free from the chains of laziness, free from the control of your emotions, free from the trap of excuses. Discipline creates consistency, and consistency creates results. The secret is not to wait until you want to do it. The secret is to do it regardless of how you feel. To show up every single day and trust that the results will come, because they always do. At the end of the day, motivation will get you started, but discipline will keep you going. And it's those who keep going, day after day, who cross the finish line. Nothing great has ever been built without sacrifice. Every champion, every leader, every innovator, every person who has left their mark on history paid a price that most people were unwilling to pay. That's the uncomfortable truth. Success demands sacrifice. You cannot have both comfort and greatness. You cannot live a life of ease and expect to stand among the elite. Something must be given up so something greater can be gained. Sacrifice is not glamorous. It means late nights when others are sleeping. It means early mornings when the world is still silent. It means missing parties, saying no to distractions, walking away from comfort zones, and sometimes even standing alone. It means prioritizing growth over pleasure, discipline over entertainment, and purpose over temporary satisfaction. While others are busy chasing comfort, you are building something that will last. The price of sacrifice often looks unfair to the outside world. People will question you. They will doubt you. They will call you obsessed, crazy, extreme. But what they don't understand is that every sacrifice is an investment. While they are spending their energy on comfort, you are investing yours into destiny. Sacrifice is simply the exchange rate between the life you want and the life you're willing to settle for. But here's the truth. Sacrifice doesn't take from you, it transforms you. Every time you give up something lesser for something greater, you are building strength. You are proving to yourself that you value your future more than your present comfort. And that confidence becomes unshakable. Winners learn to love sacrifice because they know it's the gatekeeper of greatness. Losers avoid it because they fear the pain. So ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice? Because every dream, every vision, every breakthrough comes with a price tag, and only those willing to pay it earn it. The price of sacrifice is high, but the cost of regret is higher. Choose wisely. At the end of the day, life is nothing more than the sum of your choices. You can choose comfort, or you can choose growth. You can choose excuses, or you can choose discipline. You can choose to live as a spectator, or you can rise and become the main character of your own story. The truth is, no one can make that choice for you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your mentors. Only you, and that's what separates the winners from the losers. Winners don't wait for life to hand them opportunities, they create them. They don't sit around hoping things will get better. They fight to make them better. They don't dream about someday, they commit to today. Every single moment, they are paying the price of sacrifice, embracing discipline, facing the mirror, and rewriting the story of their life. The losers? They keep waiting. Waiting for the perfect time. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for someone to save them. But waiting is just another form of giving up. Every day you wait, the life you could have lived slips further away. So here's the final truth. The choice is in your hands. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Decide if you will rise or remain the same. Decide if you will live a life of meaning or fade into the background of excuses. Decide if you will be remembered as someone who built or someone who wished. If this message spoke to you, don't just close the video and move on. Take action. Subscribe to The Shifted Self, commit to your journey of growth, and share this message with someone who needs it today. And in the comments, write the words, "I choose to rise." Let this be your declaration. Your first act of defiance against comfort, against excuses, against mediocrity. Winners declare their decision out loud. Losers stay silent, so what will you write?